Hello everyone, welcome to our TLE 7 online class. For this video, we will be talking about our last module for our cookery topic, and this is module number 5, entitled Occupational Health and Safety Procedure. So this is TLE 7 Cookery and Ma'am Carla. So to start with the discussion of this module, kindly take note of this. Safety regulations. Do you have any idea about this word? Have you heard this before? Are you familiar with the meaning of this? I bet yes. So when we say safety regulations, these are the rules that are put in place to ensure a product or event, etc. is safe and not dangerous. Have you heard before, way back in 2020, the line of Kim Chu? Sa classroom may batas, bawal lumabas. So that is an example of a safety regulation. That is a rule, bawal lumabas. So that is a rule that is being implemented to ensure safety, to avoid danger. So that is how safety regulations can be explained. So simply, these are just rules to avoid any danger. The question I have for you this time is, do you follow any rule or regulation while working in the kitchen at your home? In your kitchen at home, do you hear your mother or father or any relative telling you, oh, wag mong kalimutang isara ang gasol. O wag mong iwanan yung kalan na nakabukas. O pay attention sa niluluto mo. O di kaya naman, punasan mo yung sahig, baka may madulas. So those are examples of what we call safety regulations. Mga rules to ensure that your kitchen is safe. In an industrial kitchen, we have this term OHSP. Okay, so safety regulations are not being followed in our homes only, not only in our kitchen home, but also especially in the commercial kitchen. So again, when we say commercial or industrial kitchen, these are kitchen for businesses. And yes, they follow safety regulations as well. And those regulations or safety rules are what they call OHSP. Okay, so when we say OHSP, these are the procedures followed by an establishment to prevent occupational risk. So in short, OHSP are just safety regulations. But the term OHSP is applied on commercial or industrial kitchen, sa mga lugar na pang-trabaho, pang-negosyo. Okay? So establishment, it could be a restaurant, karinderya, or any business, okay, na merong isang pwesto and they follow OHSP or Occupational Health and Safety Procedures, meaning they follow rules to ensure that the place, the establishment will be safe to avoid or prevent occupational risk. When we say occupational risk, ito yung mga posibleng mangyari sa isang lugar na pinagtatrabahuan. Okay? So like for example, going back, restaurant, sa kusina nun, doon po niluluto yung mga food products. So to avoid occupational risk, yun ay lugar ng occupation, pagtatrabaho. They follow safety regulations. So those safety regulations are what we call occupational health and safety procedures. So itong term na to is applicable sa mga lugar na pinagtatrabahuan. So workplace, okay, occupation place. Ayan. So is this clear to you? Let's move forward. So remember, we follow different OHSP in an industrial kitchen or commercial kitchen because of this hazards. So we have been talking about this term since the very first area of specialization. We are talking horticulture, but now we're going to talk about hazards again. Can you still remember what hazards are? So again, when we say hazards, these are the things or conditions that might cause harm or danger. Anything na pwedeng makonsider as delikado. Anything that might cause accidents. Anything that might cause slips, ayan, or pagkadulas, pagkasugat, any forms of accidents or injuries na pwedeng maging dahilan nun. So those are what we call hazards. Okay? Delikado. And we have 4 types of hazards that can be found in the kitchen. So, can you imagine your kitchens at home? Can you find something that can be considered as hazard? May mga delikado po ba sa mga kusina natin? Of course, there are a lot of hazards in our kitchen, and everything that you see on your kitchen, from the wall to the ceiling to the floor, and everything around your kitchen, that could be considered in this type of hazard, such as your tools, yan, yung equipment ninyo. Those are examples of what we call physical hazards. So anything that you see on your kitchen, those are physical hazards. Okay? From the tools, equipment, from the floor to the ceiling to the wall. So lahat po ng iyan ay mga physical hazards. Okay? Another type of hazards are hazards which has life, okay? Which has life. Biological substances, biological beings. Ayan. So such as rats, flies, cockroaches, and even a sick chef or someone who cooks in the kitchen who has sickness, that could be considered as biological hazard. So when we say biological hazards, anything that has life that might cause danger or harm to people. These are biological hazards. So why are they considered as hazards? Because these biological things might have virus, germs, bacteria with them that when has a contact with food, ayan, it may cause sickness to the people who will eat the food. Ayan, so biological hazards. Physical hazard, biological hazard. Let's move to the third one. The third type of hazard has a very strong substance in them that might cause irritation to your skin. It may cause suffocation because of their strong odor. And this might include your detergents, your cleaners such as the muriatic acid, your disinfectants, and all of them are what we consider as the chemical hazard. So when these are contacted with your food, so it may cause food poisoning, or it may cause irritation to your skin if you're not wearing proper equipment or personal protective equipment with you when using these chemicals, because they have strong substances in them. So that's chemical hazard. Physical, biological, chemical hazards. Fourth one. The fourth type of hazard that we have are this. So, what do you feel when you are standing for a long time? How about when you are sitting for a long time? What do you feel, or what does your body say when you are lifting heavy materials? So these activities of a chef or a cook can be considered as ergonomic hazards. Usually, these include the activities in the kitchen that might cause body pains or body strains on the chef, such as long time standing, long time of sitting, long time of handling your tools, or lifting heavy materials. So all of these are considered to be ergonomic hazards. So once again, hazards are the things that might cause danger or harm to people. And we have 4 types of hazards. We have the physical, the chemical, biological, and ergonomic hazards. Okay? So, going back to the examples that we had a while ago, you can observe that they are part of our kitchen task, such as your tools, diba? They are considered as a hazard, but they are part of our kitchen task. Some chemicals, yes, they might be harmful, but they are part of keeping your kitchen clean. Biological hazard, so yes, we have to eliminate the pests and then the rodents, but the chef, diba? Chef is important in the kitchen, but he or she could be considered as a biological hazard. Ergonomic hazards, you cannot cook a food if you will not be doing some activities, but yes, they could be hazard. So in short, hazards are everywhere, okay? It is part of your kitchen task. It is part of your activities in the kitchen. So In short, you cannot avoid hazards. Hindi po natin naiiwasan ng hazards. But, we can manage them. Okay? So, pwede po natin silang ma-manage so that they may not cause any danger or harm. Kasi ang sabi naman, this might cause. Okay? So, pwede lang naman silang mag-cause ng harm or danger if they are not being managed. So, to avoid any possible risk of these hazards, let's manage them. Okay? So, doon po papasok ngayon yung tinatawag nating occupational health and safety procedures. But, let's talk about the word risk. Ayan. Kasi what might happen if we fail to manage these hazards? Ano ang posibleng mangyari if hindi natin na-control, hindi natin na-manage ang mga hazards na to? Dito ngayon papasok yung salitang risk. Okay? Risks. So, when we say risk, these are the possible effects of hazard. So, possible. So, hindi naman natin sinasabing mangyayari siya. Okay? So, posibleng mangyari if we fail. Okay? If we fail to manage those hazards from the physical, biological, chemical, and ergonomic hazards. So, if we fail to manage them, this might possibly happen. Posibleng mangyari. So, what are these risks are? So, going back to the physical hazards, if you do not manage your kitchen knives, if you do not manage your equipment, you do not use it properly, what might possibly happen to you as the person in the kitchen? What if the chemicals are not labeled properly? It is not stored properly. What might happen to you as part of the kitchen? What about the biological hazards? If the flies, the rats, the cockroaches are there in your kitchen, or if one of your chefs or someone in the kitchen is sick and he or she is there, what might happen to you as part of the kitchen? If you continuously lift heavy things without taking a break, what might possibly happen? So those things on your mind which could be effect of those hazards are what we call risk. Lahat ng mga naiisip nyo po ngayon na posibleng maging epekto ng mga sinabi kong sitwasyon kanina, those are examples of what we call risks. Okay? So, to give you example of risk, let's say you do not know how to properly use knives, or you are not sharpening your knives properly, or you are having so much force on using your knives. It can cause wound cuts or wounds or cuts, sugat. So the wounds or cuts, these are examples of risk. Epekto nung knives na hazard mo pag hindi mo siya ginamit ng maayos. What if sumakit ang likod mo, sumakit ang balakang mo? So pain in your body, so body pains because of standing for so much time or so long period of time, or di kaya lifting your materials for a long period of time, so body pain. So that is an example of a risk. What about if the floor is wet and you did not wipe it? Ayan, so nadulas ka, someone slipped on the wet floor. So yung slipping, pagkadulas, that is an example of a risk. What about if the food was not prepared well? Hindi siya nahanda ng maayos. Madumi, nagkaroon ng contact sa isang chemical substance, it might cause stomach ache. Stomach ache is an example of a risk. Okay? What if you have left your kitchen while cooking? So the stove is open, you left your gas tank open, and it caused fire or explosion. So fire or explosion is an example of a risk. Okay? So these things might possibly happen, posibleng mangyari, if you do not manage your hazard. So all of these are examples of hazards. So the worst risk that might possibly happen if we do not manage the hazard is death. Okay? All of these are risk, the possible effects of hazards if you do not manage them. That's why in a commercial kitchen or industrial kitchen, we have the term occupational health and safety procedures. So to manage those hazards so that the possible risk will not happen. Okay? So sa isang establishment, sa isang restaurant or karinderya, may mga sinusunod tayong safety regulations that we call OHSP or Occupational Health and Safety Procedures para po makontrol natin sina hazards para hindi mangyari yung mga risk na napag-usapan natin kanina. Maybe in an industrial kitchen, people in the kitchen are required to wear their uniform, from the long sleeve shirts, closed shoes, with hairnet or talk on their head. Sometimes they will be required to wear masks. So all in all, so proper appropriate clothing or personal protective equipment, or what we know as PPE. Ayan, so that's part of occupational health and safety procedures. Wearing appropriate outfit in the kitchen. Sometimes there are rules that everything must be kept organized. Okay? Lahat nakatago. Keeping it on its proper storage. Walang nakikitang nakakalat. That is an example of OHSP. Sometimes, each drawer may nakalaan lang dyan na kung ano lang yung mga nakalagay. So, aside from keeping it organized, it keeps your kitchen safe for everybody who works in the kitchen. Sometimes in the kitchen, you have your chemicals. So these chemicals are kept properly inside a cabinet na walang contact sa pagkain. That is an example of occupational health and safety procedures. So these chemicals are placed in a bottle, tightly sealed bottle, mahigpit na nakasara with some labels. Ayan. So that is an example of OHSP. And these workers in the kitchen, yung mga nagtatrabaho sa kitchen, they have their break time. So break time is not only for pagkain, okay? So hindi lang siya para doon. So there is a reason for break time, and that is for your workers to take a break para hindi tuloy-tuloy yung pagtayo nila, paghihiwa nila, yung matagal na pagkakaupo, o yung matagal na pagbubuhat. So this break time will help them to avoid having such body pains. So yan, OHSP yan. In some surfaces of the kitchen, sa bahagi ng mga kusina, there are some signages na nakadikit, such as this: wash hands before handling food, keep kitchen area clean, wear hairnets. So signages, posting of signages are examples of occupational health and safety procedures. Sometimes, kapag kakatapos palang mag-mop, they put this signage. Ayan, so caution, slippery when wet or icy. So that is an example of OHSP, a part of a signage. Ayan, so all of these are examples of what we call occupational health and safety procedures that when you go inside an industrial kitchen, pag pumasok kayo sa isang kusina ng isang restaurant and karinderya, especially sa mga high-class na restaurant, you would see things like this because these are all examples of occupational health and safety procedures. So, ang mga negosyo or businesses, they follow specific OHSP. Part yan ng compliance nila sa mga hinihingi ng gobyerno. So, if they are not able to comply with this, so they cannot go with their business operation. So, again, all of this is not only, this will protect people in the kitchen, the occupational health and safety procedures. So again, when we say OHSP, the occupational health and safety procedures which are being followed by an establishment to avoid occupational risk, yung mga posibleng mangyari habang nandun sila sa workplace nila. So remember po that OHSP is there, sinusunod siya to protect people in your kitchen. Maprotektahan yung mga tao sa kusina ninyo for their safety and for the safety of your kitchen against these different kinds of hazard, from the physical, chemical, biological, and ergonomic hazards. So kaya po meron tayong OHSP. Do you get the lesson of this module? Now, aside from observing OHSP, you protect the people of your business, you must also protect your business itself. Okay? So, hindi lang tao yung pinoprotektahan natin. The business itself. So, if you are a food business owner, so imagine yourself, you are you are owning a karinderya or a big restaurant. So, from where or from what should you protect your business? Saan mo pa pwedeng protektahan yung negosyo mo? Yung mismong karinderya or restaurant mo, saan mo siya kailangan protektahan? Can you think of anything? So, let's talk about this. So, protect your business too. So, you just not protect your people, but you also protect your business, yung mismong negosyo nyo. So if you are owning a food business like a restaurant, you should protect it from calamities. Ayan. So you should be protecting it from typhoons, from earthquake, and other calamities na pwedeng makaapekto doon sa mismong negosyo nyo. So how can you do that? How can you protect your business from earthquake and from typhoons? You should be having regular checking of the structure of your business. Kung saan ka nakasituate. So kung meron kang isang building, isang space na nirerentahan or binili para sa business mo, always check yung pader, yung floor, bakit kaya may biyak-biyak na siya. Ayan. So, dapat na-check nyo yun. So, kaya niya bang i-withstand? Kaya niya bang stable pa rin ba siya kapag may dumating na earthquake? So, mapoprotektahan mo lang yung business mo if lagi kang may inspection dyan. Okay? So, dapat tingnan mo kumusta yung location ng business mo. Lagi bang dinadaanan ng bagyo? Lagi po bang may earthquake doon? Or may possibility ba ng landslide? So, protect your business against natural calamities. Because if your business will be destroyed because of these natural calamities, then you know what will happen next. Bankruptcy. Okay? Aside from protecting your business from natural calamities, you protect it from fire as well. Ayan. So, isa to sa mga pinaka-possible na mangyari sa isang negosyo. Yung sunog, there are a lot of cases na yung mga kainan ay nasusunog, even inside the mall, diba? May mga nasusunog. Because of what reasons? Naiwan ng tangke, electrical faults or wiring sa sumabog or short circuit. Ayan. So, you have to protect your business from those things. So, check your electrical outlets, check your electrical wirings. Always, you must have OHSP or regulations regarding on the handling of equipment or your gas tanks or whatsoever that may cause fire or explosion. So, protect your business from fire. Isa pa sa mga problema, not only of a food business owner, but in all other businesses are the crimes, especially the thefts. Ayan. So, protect your business against crimes. Like installing CCTV, hiring security guards, having background check. Yan. If you hire people for your business, always have background check. Okay? That's why there are interviews. You ask for NBI clearance, police clearance. That's part of protecting your business against crime. So, protect your business against natural calamities, against fire, and against crime. Okay? Aside from these three, you must also protect your business from this legislations or what we call laws. So, when you put yourself or when you decide to enter the business world, you have to conform, you have to comply with the rules of the government. So, especially if you are having a food business, there are a lot of permits. May mga papel yan na meron kayong kailangang lakarin. Kailangan nyo pong i-comply yung mga requirements nila para makapag-go yung business ninyo, such as sanitary permit. Ibig sabihin, malinis yung kusina ninyo at safe na makapaghanda ng pagkain doon. So, permit yun. Na kapag na-discover ng gobyerno na hindi nyo po nagagawa yun, so, your business might be suspended. Ayan. Or the worst thing is may pasara. So, you follow or you comply with the permits. Pay your taxes. That's also part of legislations or law. Once you have your business here, so you must be paying your taxes. So, since you are using a territory in the country, so it's just part of your responsibility that you pay your taxes. Ayan, so that's part of your legislation na kailangan protektahan yung negosyo ninyo. Kasi again, if you do not do this, the government has the power to close your business and stop its operation. So in order to stop that, protect your business from legislation. So again, OHSP is for protecting your people, and these things are for protecting your business. So protect your business against calamities, against fire, against crime, and against legislations. Okay? Now, I have a question for you. What are the benefits of observing OHSP? After everything that we have discussed in this video, what are the benefits of observing OHSP? So let me find out your answers, or let me know about your answers once we meet on our Gmeet. And if you have any questions about this topic, so feel free to ask me those questions on our online class. So before I end this video lesson, remember, a spill, a sleep, a hospital trip. So make sure that your kitchen is safe for everybody to avoid any possibility of bringing someone to the hospitals because accident happen. So thank you for watching this video.